The last few years for Auburn Tigers fans have been disappointing to say the least. Hugh Freeze, their coach, has managed to put together very successful recruiting classes, but it has not translated to wins in very good football. So what will they be in the 2025 season with a new quarterback, a new signal caller in Jackson Arnold? They bring him over from Oklahoma and decide the dynamic dual threat quarterback can be more than he was for OU last year for the Sooners. Well, the season, it all starts off against Baylor. It's on the road, and I do have them losing 23-17. Look, it's going to take time for Auburn to adjust. I love that they have Eric Singleton. Eric Singleton is a terrific weapon for Arnold to go to and to go to often. They also have Cam Coleman. That is a very good receiving core for Auburn. What will the run game be? It's just this start to the season. I have that game, it's on the road against Baylor, and that's a difficult matchup. Week 2, Ball State, of course, they get the win there, move to 1-1 on the season. South Alabama, able to come up with a 41-10 win. Hugh Freeze's biggest, I'd say, remark that is to the negative, that has been to the contrary of things that are happy about him, has been the offensive ineptitude of what we saw with Peyton Thorne and just such a reliance on running the football. And then, the 4th and 31 play to Jalen Milroe, the defense and how that type of thing happens. Fans will come up with a number of reasons, but understand this. Auburn does have one of the easier schedules as it goes for the SEC. I know it's tough. All of them are tough, but this is one of the better ones. They're at Oklahoma in week 4, coming off of 2 straight wins. I think they get the win. 31-28. They beat John Mateer, the transfer into Oklahoma. They are able to spread the football around and lean a bit on their defense. Keldric Faulk could be a first-round pick when it's all said and done in the 2026 NFL draft. A lot of people are talking about him as a defensive end coming off the edge. There are a number of guys in the secondary that do need to prove themselves as guys that can take the football away, be surefire tacklers. Kayan Lee, Caleb Harris, Sylvester Smith, who will be a guy that comes out of the secondary that is able to distinguish themselves as a playmaker that Auburn can rely on when they need it in a big moment. At that point, okay, you started off with a loss to Baylor, you're 3-1, and you've got Texas A&M coming into Auburn. Look, that game is going to be crazy. It's going to be an incredible environment, but Marcel Reed has another level to him to be able to use his legs, extend plays. There's also Kevin Concepcion there now. They're able to get the transfer from NC State, the freshman All-American a couple of years ago for the Wolfpack. Have them losing to A&M and sort of giving you an idea of it's going to be maybe a little bit better. We could have a year over 500, but we're still going to be losing to some of these tier 2 teams in college football. The bye week comes at a good time because you do need a little bit of a respite before you play at Georgia. Georgia, for the most part, hasn't needed to bring a raucous environment because games have been over in the first quarter. Just ask a number of people. People thought it was over at home against Georgia Tech last year, that they were on the other side of that, but they were able to have a crazy comeback win. Very tough to be playing. They've got Georgia at home after the bye week. Environment is going to be incredible. It's such a better shot to play Georgia at home than going to Sanford. Not that Sanford is the best environment in college football. It is a great one, but it seems that almost a lot of their games, they're over at halftime and they don't need to be crazy. But is it home? Have them getting beat 29-13. Where are they going to find an opportunity to get the ball to Singleton? How are they going to get it to Cam Coleman? Georgia is not what they have been in the past, but still them being a step below that is going to be a very good team that just might be another SEC title contender and likely in the college football playoff. After falling on the year to 3-3, have them getting a win against Mizzou to get them back in the win column, 4-3. Look, Mizzou presents a number of challenges, of course. 20-17, a tight ball game win. Keldric Faulk maybe with a late play in that matchup to be able to come up with a win, but very tight. We know Mizzou had a crazy walk-off kick field goal. Don't want that tight of a game against them, especially at home. But that is what I got. 4-3 going to Razorback territory. Have them losing 23-24. dropping to 4-4 on the season. Taylor Green there with Arkansas. It's just a very tough environment. I don't know if this one's going to be at night or it's going to be in the afternoon. Depends on a lot, but 24-23, a heartbreaking fashion loss, and continuing to have Auburn Tiger fans up in arms, upset over the inconsistency. Does Hugh Freeze make it through next year? I hope he does. It would be great to see him. They certainly have had some very entertaining matchups the last couple of years, but it hasn't led to wins. And at that point, you're looking at being, 4-4 on the season before you head into your last four. Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Mercer, Bama. They get a win against Kentucky, 20-17. Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia, of course, we know all about that game last year against Alabama. Pavia's got that interesting motion. He's got this fight to him, this grit that is a very entertaining style. I love the game that Jackson Arnold possesses. He's gritty, he's tough. It's just a matter of the accuracy. In a lot of spots, it's like you got to make the throws that are easy, and then the ones down the field have to come when you have the opportunities. Like Eric Singleton, Cam Coleman, they're going to give you opportunities to hit them down the field. Do they present themselves often? Very likely they do, unless teams are only allocating and forcing them to hand the ball off to Damari Alston. It's just a matter of how Arnold performs. What we have seen from him wasn't great last year, which we did talk about a bit at length. The bye week comes after Vanderbilt. The win against Mercer would put them to 7-4 on the season before a game against Alabama. Now, at this point in the year, might not mean a whole lot, but when you play Alabama in the Iron Bowl, you can throw out the friggin' records, because this is going to be an electric environment. It's going to be fun. There's going to be screaming the records are out of this thing, whether it be Milroe, H.A. McCarron, Ty Simpson, who's at starter, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa. It does not matter who the quarterback is for either side. Both fan bases are going to be raucous. They're going to be loud. And Bama now, as far as that roster, and why I think they beat Auburn this year a little bit handedly, it's been like every of the years, it's been these tight, crazy games, and then other years it's been a bit of an easier blowout, a simpler win. Bama returns a lot of production on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of people are looking to what they lost at quarterback in Jalen Milroe, but understand this, and LT Overton on defense, Deontay Lawson, and Justin Jefferson in the Iron Bowl. Why I'm talking about this game more than others is just because of the fact of how important it is. If you beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl, it is a successful year. That's the definition. If you're 7-4, you might be a little bit down on the year, but if you beat Alabama, this is the opportunity to be 8-4. Hugh Freeze absolutely keeps his job. If they go 8-4 and beat Bama in the Iron Bowl, you're crazy to fire him. Build off of that next year, getting another great recruiting class, and you're off and running. Who knows, you could be right there in that second tier at the start of the 2026 season. Another year with Jackson Arnold. Off to the races. Of course, you have to find a way to limit what Ryan Williams can do out of the slot on the outside. Have to know where he is at all times. Ty Simpson, what do we have in him? Not exactly sure yet. He's going to have to perform. Do know that it's going to look a lot more like an offense that has momentum, that's in rhythm with him compared to Milroe, where Milroe is just going to make these crazy plays with his legs, flying off schedule, hitting crazy throws over the middle of the field between two guys, the deep ball, and then he'll just miss a ball out in the flat by 6 yards, and you're asking, why did that happen? Auburn 7-5 on the year next year. Please let me know what you think about my prediction and preview for Auburn next season. To be honest, it's a tough schedule, but I haven't been all that impressed with exactly the moves. Arnold coming over from Oklahoma, thought there was a reason why they sent him off. They sent Gabriel away. That was a mistake. Is it going to be the same level of mistake from Oklahoma letting Arnold go and bringing in John Mateer? A lot of the evidence points to the contrary. Mateer looks like a very capable Oklahoma QB, but I'm rooting for Arnold to have a great season. The dynamic ability is going to be prime time, and to have great throws, great runs, matchups, come up with a couple of very big wins. They could absolutely beat Oklahoma, and he could shove it in their darn face. Please let me know. Subscribe for more content coming out in the future. We're barreling towards the start of the college football season. Everybody's ready. We're fired up. So make sure to subscribe for more of that coming out soon. And as always, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder, hi everybody, I'm Josh Blunder.
To the 40, 35, 30, Espinoza to the 20,